Oh my goodness. I'm really struggling with Facebook Live at the moment. It keeps not letting me. Anyway, I'm not going to say that. Facebook Live works amazingly well for me. It's an amazing platform, and I'm so grateful for Facebook Live. My name's Dion Johnson. I'm going to start again. My name's Dion Johnson. I am the founder at Woman Leader Global. We are a corporate events firm that exclusively serves women in senior leadership all around the world, across all the sectors. And it is my absolute delight and passion and privilege and really my life to serve women who really value their ongoing professional and personal development in senior leadership. And I'm so excited to be here doing this new series called Queendom. It's my February series. And the reason that I'm doing this is because, well, there are a couple of reasons. The first one is that it's my strongest conviction that a new day is dawning in the global marketplace. A new season, a new era is emerging, and that women are a real big part of that, shaping that shift and then leading in the new order that emerges as a result of this shifting. So I think we've got to get ready for that. I think that there's some preparing to do. We've got to take stock. We've got to go back and just go back to the drawing board and check what we're doing here and how we're doing it and who we're being in this shaking season and in this shifting season and in this chaos and confusion that is the global marketplace right now. If we're women in senior leadership, we're feeling it, right? We're feeling the pinch, we're feeling the pressure. And I think it's time for us to have conversations about who we're being in this season and what's required of us. And so that's why I do all that I do, and particularly why I'm running this series called Queendom. And so you're welcome. I know you're watching on the replay because I don't think anyone's with me right now, but as you're joining, I'd love for you to say hi and put your name in and tell me where you're watching from. Perhaps tell me how long you've been a senior leader. Tell me something about you. Tell me why you're attracted to this series called Queendom. So yesterday was an introduction day, and I really did, I shared my heart with you that I think it's time for us to ascend as women in senior leadership, ascend to queendom, ascend to our throne, ascend to our seat of authority. And really, it's born out of a couple of things that I'm noticing on my own journey and that I see as I support and serve other women, is that the call for us to ascend is twofold. One, it's about us embracing our identity as influencers, because, you know, oftentimes, just because you have the job, just because you have the title, just because you've been promoted, just because you get the pay, you've got the corner office, you're in the C-suite, just because you're positioned there, doesn't mean that you perceive yourself as that role. And we talk a lot about the imposter syndrome, but there are a lot of women, a lot of us as women in senior leadership, in the room, at the table, in the discussion, with the responsibility, with the remit, and yet on the inside, in our self-perception, we don't see ourselves as a high-level credible influencer. There's a gap between our position and the way that we see ourselves and our self-perception. So that's an issue that we need to really address. Sometimes, you know, we don't even know that's the case until we start to do some deeper work. But we really need to address that. And the second thing is that oftentimes when we arrive at that place of seniority, as we've ascended up the ranks, there is this thing that I've noticed where we just kind of stop. We get this arrival syndrome, like, I've arrived, I'm the boss, therefore I there is nowhere else for me to go. This is it for me. I've arrived at this place, and that's a problem, right? Because there's more. There's more for us to ascend to. There's more for us to develop to. There's more for us to evolve into, and that's really important in this season when we're being asked to ascend. Ascend where? In December last year, in fact, throughout 2017, I just had this sense that I was being called higher, that I was being called to a whole new dimension of influence. Like, it's fine. I have a nice cozy client base and customer base and people that care about my messages, listen and learn and evolve from what I'm sharing. I've got a small group of strategic allies that include those clients and partners and friends. We think about the same thing. We care about leadership, we care about women, we vibe off each other, we learn. And so they're interested in what I have to say, and I influence them. But I felt the sense that I needed a deep sense, an inner sense that there was more, there is more for me, that I needed to ascend to a whole new dimensional influence. And I felt it one day when I was thinking about this really deeply and, just away with God, thinking about this. I imagined that there was a dimension down here that I was on this dimension. It was a big vast land of this dimension, and that there was another dimension up here, and that I was on this dimension, but I needed to be on this dimension. And in my frustration, I was saying to God, I don't know how to get to the next. I don't know how to get to that level of influence. What do you do? Like, I was very aware of the gap, that it wasn't about moving sideways or going and doing this on this dimension. It was about going to a whole new dimension. And I received that powerfully in my own soul, this call to ascend in the way that I was able to impact and the way that I was able to influence. And so I've been really, in 2017, it was a year of really thinking about what does it take to go to a whole new dimension. And so the series that we're in right now is going to be talking about some of the things that I gleaned from that inquiry and some of the things that I learned. And what I want to share with you today is about these dimensions. I want to share what I see about what these dimensions really mean. What are they? And in my meditation, I figure that there are 3 dimensions of influence that we need to be thinking about in this season when we're being called to shift dimension. So see if you can spot yourself in these 3. So the first dimension of influence is, well, before I say that, let me tell you that when I was asking last year about how you move up the dimensions, the thing that I became really clear about was that the ascension was a maturing ascension. It was to grow in maturity. It wasn't to grow in pay or money. Like, money's fine. It wasn't about upping the kind of friends or places that I hang out. It wasn't about upping, the car I drive or, the house I live in. It was about maturing. It was about ascension in leadership as an influencer. Hi, Katrina. Lovely to have you. Join me. Thank you. Ascension wasn't about upping my car or my house or my pay. It was about upping my maturity as a woman and a leader and a change maker. And I saw this, it brought back to my remembrance a signal that I saw that said, getting older is inevitable when you're alive. If you're alive, you're inevitably going to get older. But maturing, now that's optional. Maturing is optional. So yeah, I really want us to realize that even as women, senior leaders in our own right, that there is a call on our life to ascend, and that call is about maturing. It's about growing up as a woman. What does that mean? Growing up as a leader, growing up as a change maker, maturing, becoming more fruitful. What does it mean to you to mature as a woman? And mature as a leader, and mature as a change maker, maturing as an influencer, which is what I'm talking about today. So I figured out that there are 3 dimensions of maturity as an influencer, and I want to share them with you today, right? So the first one is baby influencer. Baby influencer. If you're joining me, you're really welcome. I'd love to know who you are. I'd love to welcome you personally to this broadcast. So put your name in the chat box so I can see that you're here with me. So we're talking about the 3 dimensions of influence, and the first dimension is baby influencer. Baby influencer. So baby influencer that's what it says on the tin, really. Baby influencer, or child influencer, is growing as an influencer and is very impressionable. So that phase of development as an influencer is saying, influence me. It's looking to the outside, it's looking to others, looking to their parents, looking to their leaders, looking to people around, looking to who they're surrounded by, their connections, to be influenced. They're being shaped as an influencer by the people who influence around them. So baby influencer is saying, influence me, influence me. Baby influence, like a sponge, is taking in, is looking for, is looking to be inspired, looking to be influenced, looking to be told what to do, looking to be directed, looking to learning about influential styles by watching other people. See, so that's baby and child influencer, is that phase of our development as an influencer where we are being influenced. And the second dimension of influence is woman influence, woman influencer. And so this woman influencer now, she's in a place where she's asking herself, what can happen through me? What could I make happen? What could I create? Who could I influence? What could I achieve? What am I capable of? A woman influencer is about seeking accolades. She's looking to prove herself. She's looking to show off what she can do. She's looking for applause, and she's looking to fit in and to stand out, and she's looking to showcase herself and what she can offer and what she can give and what she can make happen and what she can do. Yeah, woman influencer is ambitious. Woman influencer wants to make her mark, wants to build her brand, wants to command respect. A woman influencer wants to touch, to see what she can do, right? But there's another dimension. And that other dimension that I'm really excited about right now, I call her Queen Mother. And Queen Mother is much less concerned about what she can do and how she's appearing and what people think of her. And she's much more about, what can we do? What can happen through us? What can happen through us? What's needed for us to be well? She's concerned about the greater good. She's concerned about the collective. She's concerned about even the least of these. She's got a sense of responsibility for all in her domain. And she knows that what we need to accomplish is far too big for just her, that it's going to take us all. And so her position shifts from a me, self-centric influencer. I want that to happen because I want to be seen, or I want that to happen because I want to be known, or I want that to happen because I want something to happen for myself. And she's thinking, I want us to thrive. I want us to be okay. I want us to be more than okay. Even the least of these, from the top to the bottom, we've got work to do to make sure that it's okay for us. I've got goosebumps thinking about this, because I really believe, I can't believe I'm getting emotional. I really believe that it's our season, women. I think all the baby child influencer is great. I don't think we should ever stop being that child. And woman influencer, I think is great. There's nothing wrong with wanting to build your brand and show what you can do. But the world is crying out, is urging us to ascend to Queen Mother. Is calling out for us to ascend. I can't believe I'm getting emotional. It's calling for us as women to put away childish things and take a deep breath and think about how we are going to use our position as leaders and senior leaders to create something that's wonderful for all. In the organization that we serve in our industry, and in the world that we impact through our professional position. It really is time for us to ascend to a whole new dimension of influence, women of influence. And for that to happen, we really need to be intentional about owning our identity as women of influence, and we need to be intentional about our own development, our own growth, our own evolution, and our own capacity to show up in our professional capacity and in life as our true influential selves. That's what I wanted to share with you today. What do you think? What do you think? Are you getting this? Are you getting anything from this? Oh, you think it's amazing? Kat, we really need to talk. I can feel your passion to mentor women leaders and influencers shining through. Well, it's my life. It's why I'm here. It's what I'm here to do. And that's a really good segue into one of my reasons for doing this series, is because, so let me tell you, Kat's just said that she can feel my passion for mentoring women leaders and influencers. And absolutely, it's my life, right? It's my life. It's why I'm here. But I think that sometimes we've got a really laid back approach to our development, and that we are living in a loud internet, World Wide Web information age. So it's loud, there's lots coming at us, there's lots of noise, and we're tips crazy, right? We want a tip for this and what a tip for that, and we read 10 top tips to do this and 1, 2, 3 points to doing that. But here's the thing, this ascension that we're being called to doesn't happen by nodding away at tips. It really doesn't happen it's deep work, it's heart work, it's identity work, it's core work that doesn't happen by reading a few tips. And so I'm making this series because I want to invite you to come closer and have a closer conversation. It's going to take deep conversation. And the thing that I've learned about Queens is that Queens conference with Queens to search these deep matters out. And so as you're listening to this, if any of it is resonating, then a real important point about me doing this is an invitation. I'm sending out an invitation for you to come and have conversations, have deeper conversations. Come kick your shoes off and let's talk a while. You'll find accompanying this video a link that will have my diary link to it, so you can link for a conversation, or just join the mailing list and be kept abreast of what's happening until you are ready to come closer and have a deeper conversation. I know you care. I know that if you're watching till this point, you really do care about something to do with outside of you, making something better outside of you in your industry, in your organization, and in your world. If you're watching till now, you really do care about that. But the way that we do it is we take care of we get intentional about our own ascension, and our ascension is about maturity. So I want you to watch this video back, make notes in the comment box, ask questions, and think about your own ascension, your own maturity as a woman, your own maturity as a leader, and your own maturity as a change maker. What does that look like? What is that? I've been talking for way too long. Chantel, you've made it. Hello. Go back and watch the replay and then let me know what you think. You say, I put myself in the second category of it. Oh, you were watching. Great, great. You put yourself in the second category of influencers, and I agree that we can get all the tips we want, but unless we get ourselves to work on our abilities and capabilities, we only want to be like others, can copy and mimic. Brilliant, Chantel, you get it. You get it. You get it completely. I can't wait for us to talk. I know I can feel you. I can feel us connecting. I feel like, yeah, we definitely go together. I can feel you resonating, and I'm excited about your ascension and how I might support that. Kat says, I want us to thrive. Do you know, Kat, I know you do. I'm so excited about the work that you're doing with helping us with our health. I'm so excited about, I think that there's something revolutionary about to come out of your work to help women to understand the implication and the depth of importance around our health. So yeah, I can't wait to see what you're cooking up, because I know you're cooking something really special up, and I can't wait for us to catch up. Let's get a date in the diary to talk, okay? I can't believe I've been on for 22 minutes. It feels like just 5, but this is really close to my heart. There are 3 dimensions. Just see if you can find yourself in the dimensions of influence, and see and ask yourself the question about what it would take for you to up to a whole new dimension of influence, where you're seen and you're heard and you're taken seriously, and you create connection with the people who are going to help you to bring about the kind of change that you want to see in the world. So you can't do it alone. Queens don't do it alone, but we'll talk about that another day. I'm definitely going now, definitely going, and I'll speak to you hopefully very soon. Keep commenting in the box. I love to read your comments, and see you tomorrow. Bye.